your Fusion-Haa.
But yeah, no, wrestling is great.
Yeah, because
segue.
Because when I think of like great commentators, man, JR, Michael Cole, man, Taz. Like when I listen to these guys, even Jerry the King Lawler, when I'm listening to these guys talk, they're telling a story that puts an accent on what we're watching in the ring. Because have you ever been to a live wrestling event?
Yeah.
So I almost don't like going to live wrestling events because I like being able to hear the commentary that goes along with it. Because
you miss the storytelling.
Yeah, exactly.
And don't forget Don West.
Oh yeah, Don.
When I went to the TNA show out in Nashville, man, he was selling merch. I was like, oh, what the hell? Why are you not here? You know, like Taz and
Taz is another one.
Yeah, he is another one. But I digress.
So
man. So do you take? Well, I guess I'm assuming I know what with the phrase. Do you take some of the wrestling commentary just a little bit?
Yeah.
Individuals.
Yeah. I mean, Michael Cole's the one that because I mean, I'm a little younger than some of the other, like some of my cousins who are a lot older. They grew up with like JR, Dirty King Lawler. So like, and I grew up with like, you know, I feel like I really grew up and knew what I was watching during like the PG era. So you know, Michael Cole is like a big one, right? Yeah. But I feel like not only like little catchphrases, but just like what they do. Like when a big moment's happening, they're not saying a whole lot. They're saying like the little things they're saying. They're just saying very loudly. Yeah. Like he kicks out of the F5. Kicks out of the F5. That's all they're saying. Yeah. That's all he's saying. But he's saying it progressively louder and louder to make you understand, like holy crap, this is a big deal. Yeah. This is a big deal. Yeah. Right. Like, and that is something that, you know, that concept I definitely use a little bit in my casting for sure.
Because I you know, and I learned from that too. And it's funny because like I do practice on the side sometimes, like with my wife or even with Chad. Yeah. Hell, I went to live shows and I'll do that shit. And like Chad was like, "You're goofy," or even people around me like, "That's good commentary." And I was like,
"Thanks."
Bullshit. You're just tugging my chain. Like, say too. And like I remember one time, like was on a cruise, and you might see my wife do this year when we go to this cruise. And my wife's like doing like messing with this coin machine, like knock down the coins and stuff like that. And I'm like, and another coin going down, and knock it down. Let's see. Oh damn, it ain't fall out. There we go. She'll do another one. You know, kind of like that.
Yeah.
And you know the best moment in wrestling when it comes to commentary?
What's up?
When Booker T was in TNA and he was beating up people and he's like, "Oh, but you gotta come and stop him out." Oh, I got it. Oh, it's like, oh no! Here. Oh, that Pete Williams. I was like, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
That's some golden material right there. You're gonna commentate your beatdown on somebody. That is absolutely
look that up. It is a funny moment. Yeah. It's like he's like doing like this King Booker thing, but he's not King Booker. He's like weird.
Yeah, it was funny. There was back in a couple of years ago, it was definitely pre-COVID. Right. There was a Tekken player named Bronson Tran who they put a mic on him. They mic'd him up, like the production mic'd him up for a tournament, and he like made it all the way to grand finals of the tournament, commentating his own like sets.
What?
And just like talking smack to people.
He
was like, it's somewhere on YouTube, but like even the commentators, like the actual commentators are like, this guy's a clown, man, or this guy's a tool. We hate this guy. But like, you know, there's a little bit of that also in gaming, which is pretty cool.
Awesome,
but wrestling casting is definitely a big one. Like I feel like that one in all of sports. I feel like that one might be one of the best like ways for gaming casters to like get like material out of in terms of like the inflection, like the raising, because like that happens in like sports too. Like there was like a Spanish caster for the World Cup when Argentina won.
Right.
Like all he said was Argentina's the world champion again. And again and again and again and again. That's all he said. Just like louder and louder and louder, and like his voice was cracking because he was actually he's from Argentina.
Yeah, so you hear like passion and love.
That's another thing too. By the way, like kind of going back to that previous question, like what do you think makes a great caster? You gotta like it.
Yeah,
you gotta like it.
Shit.
There's some people that like, you know, they want to do it, but they're in it for the wrong reasons, and you can and like, you know, if you've been around people long enough, you can see right through that. And so, like you know, and sometimes, you know, some people will go up to me and like I can tell, and I'll give them their like, I'll sit down with them the same, you know, and give them like, you know, my like insight and like tips, you know, from like my experience. You know, that's another thing too, is like all of these things have been from like my experience, and it's what I've found that works for me. Maybe it works for you, but maybe it doesn't. But if it doesn't work, you just go try something else. But some of these people, like, I'll give them, you know, like a nugget of, like, essentially giving him a fish and he eats for a day. And that's it. That's it. But, like, he doesn't really take, like, the teaching. You know what I mean?
Well, if you teach me to fish, you fish for a lifetime.
Yeah. See, they don't want to learn, though.
Yeah. So you basically gave a fish.
Yeah, they're just trying to, like, you know, just, like, make it happen and, like, do an event and then...
Maybe try to make some money. You're like, oh, I want to try to cash out.
I will say, by the way, just like I should have said this way earlier too. Like, if people are in casting to make money, like, you just go. First of all, there's not a lot of money. Other like there are some people at the top, like at the tippity, and I'm talking about like 4 people per title that like can actually make a living off of casting.
Shit.
But, you know, like I listened to Sage M say this. He was like, I lived off of casting in 2016. I did not make enough to make a living, but I lived off of it. You know?
So take that with what you will.
Yeah. So like the big thing with casting is like it. You know, even if it is your main thing, you have to have like other like ventures. Like you know, some casters, they stream on Twitch or they stream and they make videos.
Oh, I've seen that. What's that one? The one from Florida, I forget. Like Tampa. I think it was like TS. Tampa.
TNS.
TNS. Yeah,
TNS.
Tampa. They always got guys on.
Yeah,
catch some of that sometimes.
Yeah, so I mean, like, look, like casting's great, and I love it. I put all the time and effort that I can, but you know, like Monday through Friday, like, you know, I'm a student, I'm a teacher, you know, so that's mainly what I like. It's like not my most, like, casting is great and it's high on my priority list, but you know, just because of the level that I'm at right now, it's not my highest priority. It can't be, you know. So
of course,
so. I won't have a car. I won't have a house. You know, like that's tough.
You got to get to those events, right? Yeah. So let's talk about some wrestling, man. So, who's your favorite wrestler?
Okay.
So my question.
Well, hey, we got to think of another one now.
Yeah. That's easy.
You're like, I got.
Me, man, I got you, homie.
It's like the SpongeBob meme where like he like opens up and it's just like long paper. It's like, okay, I have a list.
Cross off.
It's hard because actually it's not that hard. The Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys. Oh, you like the Hardy Boys?
It's actually not that hard. I was gonna say it's really hard. Like, no, it's not. Like my little brother and I, as children, would wrap towels and toilet paper around us and just go and then like, you know, jump off a trampoline. You know, like so that's how, you know, like it's like some of my great like fond memories of like my brother growing up or just like, you know, horse playing and
of course,
doing all this stuff, twist of fate, like swanton, you know, like
man,
you know,
nice,
like definitely like sprained some bones and, you know, definitely hurt herself a little bit. But
you're trying to be a real Hardy Boy.
Yeah, that's just kind of how it, you know. There's a reason they say don't try that.
Yeah,
right?
Of course.
But no, the Hardy Boys.
The Hardy Boys. I'm actually not mad at that. So have you watched them in AEW lately?
So that's the thing, right? It's like I have not kept up as much.
Okay, got you.
Like I remember, like a core memory as a child was Jeff Hardy winning in 2008. Like that was a core memory.
Man.
That's a core memory for me.
Yes.
So what part of wrestling did you watch? Like, you know, you got the Attitude Era, the PG era, the Ruthless Aggression era. You got Now and stuff like that.
Yeah, now's a weird era, but definitely PG. Like definitely PG. But we grew up watching like videos and DVDs of like late Attitude, early PG.
Okay.
So like, and we had like the wrestling video games. Like we had like back when Raw was like Raw is War or whatever. So
nice.
so like the big wrestlers back then, like Steve Austin, Triple H, The Rock, Mankind. Like those guys were all
classics,
great.
dog.
They're all great. They're all great.
Oh man, absolutely.
And so like I grew up PG, but I go back on YouTube because WWE has been doing a great thing now where they post like full matches from like back in the day. And so like I watched those. Like there was one where it's like Triple H is like knocked out over there, and like Mankind is like passed out. The Rock is trying to do something, and then you just hear the glass shattering and the pops that you would get back then. He would just run in, like he ran in, stunned someone, laid them on the ground, and just dragged Mankind over them.
Oh, that's when Mankind won the title, right?
That's when he won the title, yeah. So like he just like he showed up, did a stunner, put Mankind over them to get the pin, and just walked away. Walked back to the locker room.
Oh, man.
Like, those moments are great,
Right? Easy freaking
and like during Raw 25 or whatever, like 25 years of Raw or whatever, when like, they were doing like the whole thing, like the whole spiel, like Steve Austin literally came in, didn't say anything to anyone, just stared people down, would like have their beer, stunner, just walk away. Like he didn't say he didn't say a word.
Say anything. He's that good, man.
That's how you know that the greats are legends. Is when you don't have to say anything at all. So, but obviously, like John Cena deserves his flowers too.
Oh, like, man, you know what? Oscar, you're absolutely right. We got to give John Cena his flowers, man. I agree. He held it down during the PG era, like. What the era that quote unquote nobody liked, but WWE's still here. Like,
but here's the thing. The way I like to see PG era and John Cena specifically in the PG era was when he's gone. When he was gone, you miss him. You know what I mean? That
is true.
Like, and I think he talked about it. I was watching him talk about it, but like, someone was like, "What was your character?" And he was just like, I was Superman. In the PG era, I was Superman.
Ooh, basically.
And like,
good call.
A decade later, everyone got tired of watching Superman win, which is why they started booing him. That's why he would get booed a lot. But then, he leaves, and everyone's like, man, they didn't really know what they had until it was gone. Yeah, but then he comes back, and now it's like Superman's like trying to figure out who he is in this new era now.
That's a good way.
Which is why like he would get like when he was feuding with Roman Reigns. When tribal chief Roman Reigns, like, of course, he was getting pops.
Yeah, it's like, we're back. Save us from this guy.
Yeah, like, oh my God, John, I miss you. Come here.
Because again, like ultimate heel, Superman, come save us, and then so like that. I feel like that's like he's billed as the greatest of all time.
Yes,
he's definitely up there. Definitely up there. Like he is definitely up there. Like I don't know who would necessarily be the greatest wrestler of all time, but there is a short list.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I know mine is Brian Danielson. He's my favorite of all time. Like
he's great.
So him and Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was my favorite of all time for the longest time.
Yeah.
Brian Danielson is a beast, man. He can just do everything. Like it's not even fair. He can wrestle. He can talk. He's just he had that aggression. Like when he needs to turn that switch on, man, he can go to town, and he's been one of my favorite matches of all time with him and Kenny Omega.
Oh, 1 hour and nobody won.
Amazing. I will say the coolest thing about we were talking about like the live shows.
Yeah.
Yes.
When
you see like the random returns, I was at the arena watching Royal Rumble when it was in Houston.
Oh,
cool.
So.
Oh man!
Like I shed so many tears when Edge came back. Like that was the coolest thing, and it was great. And it was great because when these really big wrestlers they leave, and when they come back, like the big question that I know they all have is like, will they still remember me? But then you think you know me comes up, and everyone knows exactly who it is.
Yeah,
the pop was insane. It was deafening.
Yeah, I still remember that pop.
I remember my ears were literally ringing for like a few minutes because of how loud the pop was. I wasn't ready for it.
Yeah,
I wasn't ready for it. No one was ready for it. So
we're about to blow off.
Yeah, so like I will say getting a first like reveal like. Because obviously, like they'll tweet out, like like oh my god, like if there's like a big moment that happens, like you see it on TV or whatever, but like being there, and like actually witnessing the pop, like I feel like that is the one thing that live shows are good.
Yeah,
but I definitely agree with what you said earlier though. Like I like the commentary, I like the storytelling, so for me it's that much more interesting to watch at home. So.
Sure. I think what was the last show we went to? Was it
AEW?
Oh, it was AEW.
Yeah, we went to an AEW show here at U of H, actually. It was actually... AEW live is actually really good. Yeah. It's really good live.
Was it at the Fertitta Center?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah. So, we were there for that. It was pretty good. It was a pretty good time.
That's how we seen CM Punk live.
Oh my God. Oh, my God.
It's about him.
Yeah, that was another pop that was crazy. CM Punk came back to WWE.
When he came back, because no one thought it was going to happen.
Yeah.
No one thought it was going to happen. Everyone had, because... Not only did the story make it easy for him to leave, and everyone was like, "Yeah, he's gone." He would go he wasn't even like asked about it. He would just try to just dumpster on WWE anytime he could. On any podcast, on any interview, and I'm like, he's definitely not coming back. And then he made it happen.
I couldn't believe. I remember watching the pay-per-view. I'm sitting there with my wife. And my youngest daughter was sitting there, and I'm just like, CM Punk's coming. I know it's going to come.
Yeah.
It went off. Randy Orton came on instead, which I love Randy Orton. So I was happy to see him, of course.
Yeah.
He come on to do that thing, and I'm just like, well. It's like, man, it's not
I hear voices in my head. It's great. Yeah. I'm happy for Randy Orton, too. That's another one that I'm a big fan of.
Randy Orton makes wrestling look so easy to where it's unfair. Like he's too natural. He's too good. Too good.
He might also have single-handedly the greatest finisher in wrestling history. It might be the greatest finisher because of one, how easy it is, and two, just because of it's transcended wrestling. The pop, in pop culture, in meme culture.
That's the one wrestling move, the Stone Cold Stunner. It's up there with that.
It's good though. Stunner compared to the.
No. I'm not saying that, but it's those moves are you talk about wrestling, I'm gonna give you a stunner, or I'm gonna do a clothesline or something. Yeah. RKO is right there, and it's above them.
Yeah. Actually, I was gonna say put some sauce on what you said because okay, first you had the diamond cut, and that was cool. Yeah. And then he did out of nowhere, but the way Randy did it, you gotta remember when Evan Morton did the freaking shooting star press. Or
that man had recovered ever since. That career ain't been the same.
Or when he RKO'd Seth Rollins out of the curb stomp.
He threw up there.
Or even when he came back with that Hell in a Cell elimination, what was that? I don't even remember. War Games. When he came back at War Games, and they just set up JD McDonough. They just set him up, and it was just we know this is a crazy, cheesy setup, but we don't care. We're give it to us. He made it so effortless, man.
Yeah. It is the multi-tool of finishing moves.
It can fit in any narrative. It can fit at any point in time. So.
Exactly.
Then the impactful ones too, like when Heyman was giving his whole he was cutting the promo on Brock Lesnar, how he was like, "You'll never hit an RKO," and it comes out of frame.
Yeah,
hits it.
He just looks
and he's like, what? The pop, his pop off after hitting it, and the way he sells it. He looks clinically insane. I'm like, dude,
he is so different. He actually got lazy. He was like, it's nothing. And I'm like, dude, you're so you said it's effortless, but he just does it, and he's all like, I really didn't care at one point. He really didn't give a shit. And I was like, How can you do this?
I can't even name the time where that even happened. Like I can never watch all his matches and pinpoint when he didn't care.
Yeah,
he's
like,
that good.
He just like that's why he's such a natural. Like I really didn't care that day. And but you did it. And
he still did it. And it was great. Yeah,
I'm gonna smoke a cigarette now. Bye.
Yeah, because like one of the big like things is like when John left. It was like, well, who's the next guy? Like, obviously they were pushing Roman, but even before John, like when Steve Austin, The Rock, like all those guys left, like who's going to be like? There's always going to be someone coming out. There's always going to be a guy or two, or like there's like never really a shortage of talent because like if you think about it, like right now, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. They're all great.
Yeah, they're phenomenal.
Underrated Daniel Priest.
He's Daniel Priest.
Yeah. I think this roster of WWE, I think this might be one of the best times for wrestling, like ever, ever in life. I'm just saying that like it's one of the best times for wrestling ever. Yeah, but WWE, what they've done over the past, I'm gonna say like maybe 2019. It was almost borderline unwatchable. There was just nobody. There was just nobody there that I really just
think about it. Think about it. Like Roman. They were pushing Roman to be the face, and nobody wanted it because he was such a baby face, and no one liked how much of a baby face he was. Seth Rollins was right there, but they didn't want to. They didn't want to give him that push. And then when they did give him that push a few years before that, he ended up getting hurt. And they didn't want to like keep pushing him when he came back, so they just moved on to the next guy.
Same thing with Finn Balor too.
Finn Balor. So words out my mouth, bro.
Yeah,
damn, he's on the belt and then
So Finn Balor now is man.
And he's great. He's great too. But he just now I'm happy that he's at least getting shine and time on TV now. Before he was a girl to almost being a loser, and I didn't like it.
Dog, what was that when he fought? I think Roman Reigns as a demon, and he just like fell off. I'm like, what was this?
I was like, that's not supposed to happen. But I liked Roman Reigns,
right?
But I just didn't think like it's almost like you said, being your authentic self. Like that wasn't authentic to Roman Reigns' character. Like and it got to a point where you could just tell. But when he came back as the tribal chief, oh my god,
it was night and day. And I think the COVID era, I think it's a combined it's a combination of he's way more authentic as the tribal chief, and also the COVID era. Like there's so much like nuance in your promos during COVID because there's no live audience.
Exactly.
So you can add inflection. Like if you go watch Paul Heyman's first like promo about Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, like he was whispering and like being very like and commanding your attention from home. You can't do that in a live audience. The crowd just drowns you out.
That's true.
So like I think the stars aligned in like the perfect way for Roman to like really like get the push that he was getting the push already. But it was just like set up in a way where like it was that much more effective, and I think that's another reason why everyone ate it up. Like everyone loves it. And then like the bloodline, like that entire storyline. Now they got The Rock coming back, and like obviously the whole like conspiracy with Cody Rhodes, finish the story or whatever. It's great. Like I feel like some of those moments during the kickoff, where like he slapped him. It felt like real Cody, and it felt like real Dwayne Johnson. Like it felt real.
Hold that thought.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Like we were talking about
we were talking about
kickoff.
The press conference that wasn't a press conference.
It was cinema.
It
was pure cinema. It was not a press conference. I was like, he did what? When he said, I'm going to give my match away, and Cody comes out, he's like, man, no, Then The Rock, The Rock insults Cody's family, then Cody insulted The Rock's family.
It was Roman. It was Roman.
Cody didn't even say anything. And The Rock slapped the taste out of his mouth.
He said, famous line he always said was, The Rock is going to slap that taste out your mouth. Damn.
I was like, oh, dang.
Damn, Chris Rock got slapped again by Will Smith.
Dang, I know. And it's funny because...
Keep my family's name out of his mouth.
Yeah, it is.
It was part 2. It was part 2.
And then when they basically made him look like Seth Rollins was in the background just sitting there.
He was
not doing, oh, that boy was a scrub, but he ran in there. He ran in there. I'm like,
head first.
I'm like, you're finally doing something.
Yes.
Because Roman, they made Seth look bad. I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
I do have something to say. Oscar, your knowledge of wrestling is dope. I see the flow. We're all flowing too, by the way. I'm like, man. I was like, because you were talking about, because we some old heads, talking about Attitude Era.
Yeah.
I've been watching wrestling for over 20 years now at this point, and so, and actually over 20 years for this guy. And I'm just hearing you talking, he was like, more this time. But like, dude, you kind of go back to.
Yeah.
So I'm like, damn, I'm impressed, dog.
Yeah. To find where like some of the, like I grew up in like PG, like to find like you have to look at what came before. You know what I mean? Because it's like how do we get like every era? It's like how did we get here? And then you go back. You go back and look at what things that happened before. And obviously, like we'll never have like an Attitude Era again.
No. Okay.
But I'm not gonna lie. I was a really big fan. I watched and I was like, I wish I was older so I could have lived during that time.